Good afternoon, or good evening, everybody. It's time for our second game of our doubleheader today. The Wittenberg women win the first game handily, and tonight it's the Wittenberg men taking on the Hiram Terriers. And I'm not doing solo this game. My good buddy Jackson Lightcap's here. Jackson, glad you're with us for the men's game tonight. Big game for Wittenberg because I tell you what, this men's, it's jam-packed. Wabash at top 10-3, Worcester 9-3, Wittenberg right there at 8-4. And of course, Wittenberg wins tonight. They got a big game Saturday because they're going to be taking on Worcester right here. And Worcester, if they win tonight, I think that's going to be 8 games in a row for them, wins.
Yeah, absolutely. Worcester, Wittenberg, two of the top teams in the NCAC, but Wabash right now leading the way at 10-3. Wittenberg, this is a team that has hit a little bit of a lull over their last couple of games. Hiram 2-19 on the season, 0-12 in conference play. They're still looking for their first conference win. This is I'm going to deem it a good tune-up game for the Wittenberg Tigers, or what should be a good tune-up game. This is a game that they should be able to win, and they should be able to work on certain things, but you cannot overlook and you cannot jump ahead of yourselves and look at Saturday against Worcester, because Hiram, this is a team that can still come in and disrupt a lot of things in the NCAC.
By the way, I owe you an apology, Jackson, because last week I was watching you call the game against DePaul, and Wittenberg was down 2 points, took a shot with 4 seconds left. They were down 2. They missed it. DePaul got the rebound. I turned it off. Thinking, well, Wittenberg
Big
lost.
mistake. It was a great game.
I was irritated. And then I looked, and I'm like, oh, my goodness, told my wife, Vicky, Wittenberg came back and won, so it was crazy. So I gave up on you too quick, so I apologize.
You know, I'd like to say that I have some magic on the mic every once in a while. I will say this, both times, the last 2 play-by-play games I've had for Wittenberg men's basketball team, obviously the last one against DePaul where Dawson Scott threw it off the backboard, won in overtime, and the one before that was where Trey Killens hit a game winner.
Yeah, so I tell you what, you've been some good luck for the men here. Let's hope you keep it up. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups. There won't be a national anthem before this game. It was played before the women's game. Trent Jakaki's a junior guard starting from Hiram, Ohio. He's a hometown guy, Crestwood High School. Deshaun Hill's a sophomore guard. By the way, Trent Jakaki, 6'1". Deshaun Hill, 6'2", from Cleveland Heights. James Moore, a wing, 6'4", from Akron, starts. Mitchell Wychecki is a freshman forward, 6'8", from Macedonia, Ohio, and Ivan Yang from Hong Kong, China. How about that? Ivan Yang, a junior, 6'6". He starts for Hiram. For the Wittenberg Tigers, Jeff Queen will start at a wing spot. He's 6'1" from Cincinnati. Cameron Harrison, a 6-foot junior from Eaton, Ohio, starts. Trey Killens, junior from Cincinnati, starts. He is 6'1". Eddie Brown, 6'6", sophomore from Lewis Center, Ohio. And Daniel Asher from Indianapolis, Indiana, a senior, starts. 6'7" for the Tigers. We'll go over their point averages when they're introduced. Trent Jakaki averages 22.5 points. He's their big man, Jackson. Deshaun Hill comes out averaging 5.5 points a game for the Terriers. James Moore comes out. He averages 10.7 points per game. Mitchell Wychecki starting, 6'8", averages 4.8. And again from Hong Kong, China, Ivan Yang averages 6 points a ball game. And for the Wittenberg Tigers, never give up on these guys. Jeff Queen, senior, averages 8.1 points per game, again from Cincinnati. Cameron Harrison from Eaton averages 10.2 points per game. He is a long-range bomber for the Tigers. Hits 43% from beyond the arc. Trey Killens having a nice year, 19.9, just a hair under 20 points a game. Eddie Brown being introduced, 6'6", and Daniel Asher at 6'7". Eddie Brown, again from Olentangy Orange High School, and Daniel Asher from over in Indianapolis. So we're about ready to get started. We missed you in the first game. Glad you're with us. Did you have a good show tonight? Didn't you have a show?
Yes, I had a show. For everybody out there who doesn't know, I host the show on the TKDS Sports Network 4 to 6 Monday through Thursday called Sports Now. Me and my good buddy Matt do it, and we had quite a bit of viewership today. 181 live viewers, I do believe, for the show.
Good.
So
who'd you have on?
We had One guest at the very end, our good friend Jonathan Snyder from Indiana
All
called
right.
in, and we were talking about the whole Dartmouth situation on how they're now paying their their basketball team to be employees.
I saw that. They said, court said they're employees. Here we go, tip. Belongs to Wittenberg. Trey Killens with the basketball. Just underway. Ernie Banks says it's always a good day for two, and we already had our first game tonight. Eddie Brown with the basketball.
Dave, sorry to leave you hanging in game one. The X factor in this one for the Wittenberg Tigers has got to be Cameron Harrison. You mentioned 43% from beyond the arc. Everybody knows what Trey Killens can do, but if Cameron Harrison can get that 1-2 punch with Trey Killens, it's a brand new and a way different Wittenberg offense on the floor.
Eddie Brown throws up a floater from the baseline, doesn't go. Three-pointer on the way, no good. That one put up by Dushan Hill, but they get the rebound, offensive board. Trent Jakacki with the basketball back to Dushan Hill. Over to Mitchell Wychecki. And now out to James Moore. James Moore with the basketball. 4-shot long three-pointer put up, no good, out of bounds. Had to put that one up, Jackson, because the shot clock was winding down.
This is a Hiram Terriers team that only shoots 27% from beyond the arc, but you look at the size mismatch, and Daniel Asher, he's one of the best post players in the entire conference. So, Hiram, it's going to be hard for them to get to the inside. They're going to have to rely a lot on that three ball. They don't shoot well from beyond the arc.
Cameron Harrison with a layup off the glass. Rolls around and goes in, so Cameron Harrison dents the scoreboard. First points go to Wittenberg.
The sooner he gets going on the offensive side, the better this Wittenberg Tigers offense is going to be as the game goes on.
Dushan Hill, left-hander shot inside the lane, no good. Rebound, Trent Jakacki. Reverse layup, no good. James Moore, three-pointer on the way, no good. Boy, looked like Ivan Yang could have got called for over the back, no call. Jeff Queen with the basketball. 2-0, so they had some cracks at that time, couldn't find the bucket. Daniel Asher with the basketball. Out to Jeff Queen, three on the way. Jeff Queen up, count it, 5-0. Jeff Queen shoots 36% from beyond the arc. I think you have to be happy if you hit 35%.
Between Jeff Queen and Eddie Brown, those are the two most underrated players for this Wittenberg Tigers, offensively and defensively. Two of the most well-rounded players that Wittenberg has. They can knock down the three, especially at big moments like that.
Drive, James Moore in the lane, up and in. Nice drive by James Moore. And it's now 5-2. Trey can, boy, a lot of contact there. Daniel Asher goes down, and I think that was James Moore ran into him. Hopefully he's going to be okay. He's a little late. Took him a little while to get up. I think he's upset that they called a foul on him.
Yeah, and he's upset, but that's ultimately the right call. They called him for the shove, and obviously Daniel Asher, he got there. He was able to get his feet set. And anytime you have your feet set, then it's going to go to the other player to make a play to get around you. And you cannot go through that player setting that pick. That was a great screen there by Daniel Asher, and that certainly was a foul that was going there on Moore.
Trent Jakacki steals the ball away from Eddie Brown. Trent Jakacki inside, and Wychecki can't corral it and goes out of bounds.
Hiram, this has been a team that has obviously struggled this season. 2-19 on the year, 0-12 in conference. And the reason why they have not been able to win games is because they've lost the turnover battle. And not that just that they've lost it one or two turnovers, they've lost it convincingly. And you've already seen it today. A lot of sloppy ball movement on the offensive side, a lot of sloppy passes. Certainly got to clean it up for the Terriers.
And, of course, on the men's side, since there's 9 teams, one team's left out. Whoever finishes 9th will not make the conference tournament. Cameron Harrison, 3 up and in. We were here a couple weeks ago, and Cameron was on fire. I think he hit 7 that night.
I believe he ended up with 32 points, if I wasn't mistaken. 32 or 34. It was a career high for him, and so far, he's already on that pace.
Trey Killens with a steal from Trent Jakacki. Trey Killens goes in, lays it off the glass, and in.
Everybody wants to think about Trey Killens being a mainly offensive player because he's averaging close to 20 points per game. But one of the more underrated aspects of his game is the defensive side, his ability to get steals. He leads Wittenberg in steals per game as well. He's very tenacious on the defensive side.
10-2. Now a pass is deflected out of bounds by Jeff Queen. Ivan Yang tried to hit James Moore in the corner. Dawson Scott coming in the lineup for the Tigers. We've got 16-16 left to play in the first half. Tigers on top, 10-2. Trent Chikaki shot, no good. Rebound to Eddie Brown. Tigers already 5 points off turnovers by Hiram. Cameron Harrison, now they've got an offensive foul. I think they called that on Eddie Brown.
Yeah, it's going to go on Eddie Brown, and it seems as if just wrong place at the wrong time there from Eddie Brown, but a costly mistake and a costly turnover for the Tigers. And we talk about it so many times. When you turn over the ball, a big key factor in winning basketball games is getting points off turnovers. You've got to find a way to capitalize off empty possessions. Terriers down by 8, big possession for them.
Josh Kester in the lineup for Hiram along with Manuel DeVore-Olin, or Violan, I should say. Shot put up, no good. Rebound bounced around. We're going to have a jump ball. So we've got Trent Chikaki, Deshaun Hill. Well, no, they don't. They have not updated yet who's out on the floor. We've got a timeout. It's going to be a full timeout. We got 15:39 to play, and we'll just keep it right here for right now. And right now, Tigers off to a pretty good start, 10-2. And again, this is a Hiram team still looking for win number 1 on the year. Matt Croce, of course, the head coach of the Wittenberg Tigers, and Taylor Roth, the head coach for Hiram. Right now, Hiram off, again, having a tough year this year.
Yeah, absolutely, and it seems as if they've just hit a brick wall all season long. And when you are playing multiple games per week and when you lose a couple of games in a row, it's a struggle to get back in the win column. It's a struggle to get things going. And that's why great teams, they lose heartbreaking fashion, but they're consistently able to bounce back. And it's not necessarily how you win, it's how you bounce back. That's what separates great teams from teams that are towards the bottom of the conference, such as Hiram. Wittenberg, this is a team that bounces back. This is a team that has great leadership, that if they have a heartbreaking loss, you know that they're going to bounce back. Hiram, instead of stacking the wins, one game will not go their direction, and it's ultimately led to a lot of stacked losses for the Terriers this season. So obviously, not too much to like for the Terriers. They are a young team. This is a team that is going to make a lot of mistakes as the season goes on. This is a team that still does have a bright future, but they got to figure out a way to finish this season strong.
Now we have an offensive foul on Hiram. By the way, the Terriers 1 for 8 from the field. Wittenberg is sizzling 4 for 5. All right, for Hiram, Manuel DeVore-Olin out there, Josh Kester. We have James Moore, Brock McCrancy, and Ivan Yang. For Wittenberg, we still have the same, well, no, we do. Tyler Galuch now in the lineup, of course, with Dawson Scott also in. Trey Killens with the basketball. Tyler Galuch, I think, is really going to have a nice career here at Wittenberg. Dawson. Yeah, go ahead.
True freshman, went to Springfield Catholic Central, decided to stay home here in Springfield, and has provided a lot of spark off the bench. He's got a bright future for the Tigers.
Boy, are we glad he did decide to stay here. Dawson Scott with the bucket down the other way. Nice move, put it up with the left hand off the glass. And now we have a foul on Tyler Galuch. I think Tyler Galuch. And I don't think they're going to count the basket. He scored James Moore off the basket, but I think they're saying that it was before the shot. In the lineup, Keith Rivers, freshman, 6'6" for the Tigers. Also Grayson Sterry in the lineup. I think you're going to see quite a few Tigers playing tonight.
That's ultimately the goal, to try to build the culture and try to get players more acclimated to playing time. That's certainly how you develop them, and that's certainly how you continue to build this well-rounded program.
Ricky Edsel now in the lineup for Hiram. Wild shot put up and in, though. James Moore, nice shot. He kind of threw one up with the right hand off the glass and went in. Nice shot by James Moore. 12-4. He's got all 4 points. Trey Killens, 3, top the key, no good. Rebound comes down. I think that was Ricky Edsel with the rebound in the lineup now. Ricky Edsel with the basketball. Brock McCracy, he thought about a 3. Gives it to number 12, Manuel DeVore-Olin. Bounce pass inside, Ricky Edsel. Back out top, Brock McCrancy. 6 on the shot clock. McCrancy goes up for shot. Nice block. Dawson Scott. Great block there. Trey Killens all the way down, lays it up and in.
It just seems as if Hiram does not have a offensive game plan. It looks like they're just running inside, the middle's getting clogged up, and they're chucking up shots. They're taking selfish shots. There's no sort of there's no sense of urgency, and there's no sort of game plan right now from Hiram. They're just running into a brick wall.
Brock McCracy, long three, no good. Tigers up 10 now, 14-4. Got 10-point lead. We've only played a little over 6 minutes. Keith Rivers with the basketball. Nice shot, high off the glass, up and in.
This
Keith,
is
go ahead.
Nice move there by Keith Rivers, and this is a guy that did not get any playing time at the beginning of the year, but has earned himself and gotten himself into this rotation for the Wittenberg Tigers. And the Tigers, he can do it all. He can defend, he can play some offense, and he's proven it so far ever since he's gotten the more playing time.
Steal by Trey Killens, ahead to Tyler Gluch. Tyler Gluch off the glass, up and in, and all of a sudden the Tigers are up 18-4. And we look, and the Tigers are, I think, 7 for 9. I think it's 8 for 10 really now. I don't think they've updated it yet. Yeah, there it is. 8 for 10 from the field for Wittenberg. Hiram 2 for 11. And boy, it's going to be, they've got 30-second time out here. And you see part of the problem with Hiram on the year. It's some shooting woes right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Hiram, they have not shot well. Only 41% from the field, 27% from beyond the arc, and 65% from the free throw line. And that's the one that stands out to me the most because, you know the saying I love to use, games are won and lost at the free throw line. So when your opponent, if you're an opponent of Hiram and you see that they're only shooting 65% from the foul line, and with how much they turn over the ball, you are more aggressive and you don't care to enter that foul trouble because you know if they get to the bonus, they're not going to connect on many free throws as well. And that plagued Hiram all of this season. And ultimately that intense pressure that they faced on the offensive side, we talk about them being a young team, it certainly has plagued them all season long.
You talk about turnovers already. Wittenberg, off 4 turnovers for Hiram, have scored 9 points off those 4 turnovers.
And that's been the problem with the Terriers, I beg your pardon, all season long.
All right, so by the way, into the lineup now for Hiram is Golden Batsoring. He's 6'2". In fact, he's getting ready to inbound the basketball. And he is from Mongolia.
Hiram going all across the world to bring in these players.
And, well, Devora Violan with the basketball, dishes off to McCracy. And now we have a jump ball. Great block by Jeff Queen. He went up. He blocked it. So give the ball to Wittenberg on the alternating possession. Tigers already up 14, 18-4.
And we talk about how great this Wittenberg Tigers team is. Defensively, they can force the turnovers, but especially offensively, they have so many players that can connect in different ways. Obviously, you have Trey Killens, you have Jeff Queen, Dean Tate's provided a great spark off the bench, Eddie Brown, Dawson Scott as well. How about this? Now 7 different scores today for the Wittenberg Tigers, and they only have 20 points.
Cole Bavinall in the lineup, and he made a great pass to Dawson Scott for the assist. Dawson Scott scored the last basket. Brock McCracy to Josh Kester. Out, three-pointer on the way, short. That was put up by Golden Batsoring. Cal Bavinall with the basketball. To Keith Rivers, over to Jeff Queen. Grayson Steary out there also. Grayson with the basketball. Grayson back to Jeff Queen. Three-pointer from left corner. No good. Rebound comes down to Ricky Edsel. To Golden Batsoring. In the corner. Bounce pass. In the corner, Josh Kester. Ball's loose. Wittenberg picks it up. Nice play by Dawson Scott. The dish that one off.
Great hustle there by Scott. Read and anticipated the pass and was able to dive on the floor. That's what you call putting your body on the line. And the Wittenberg Tigers, they emphasize in this program effort and hustle. And also you could throw attitude into that mix. Dawson Scott showing all of them off there.
And now we have another jump ball in this. I think they called the jump ball, or they get a timeout. I think we come back, it's going to be Hiram's basketball. But we will find out. Right now, Wittenberg with a healthy 16-point lead, and we've played almost 9 minutes in the ball game. We've got 11:07 left. We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Tigers on top, 20-4.
I'm thrilled to be at Wittenberg at this time and place, as the university is perfectly positioned to welcome an esports program like none other. Wittenberg's impressive athletics tradition and Tiger Up spirit, mixed with a strong commitment to student success, will allow for a program that competes at the highest level while also caring deeply for each player, both personally and professionally. Esports at Wittenberg will not only be about gaming, but will also be about changing the game. Together, we will build a supportive, dynamic community as we bring our own distinct light to the global phenomenon of esports right here in Springfield, Ohio. It's time to Tiger Up. Let's go.
All right, welcome back here to Pam M. Smith Arena. Jackson Lightcap is with me tonight. Glad Jackson's with me. And I'm Dave Williams, and we hope you're enjoying our game. Dean Tate down the lineup for the Wittenberg Tigers.
Dean Tate, this is a kid that dual athlete, also played football for the Tigers out on the gridiron as well, coming off a great season. He joined the Tigers midway through the year because of the football. He had to get back in basketball shape. He had to get his touch and his rhythm back. But now since he has that and he's starting to play his best basketball of the season, he is a huge asset for the Wittenberg Tigers. He's a guy that can come off the bench and drop 10 points at any given time.
With a drive, and now almost a steal by Dean Tate. He knocked away from Trent Jakacki, but it's going to be Hiram basketball out of bounds. Daniel Asher back in the lineup also, along with Eddie Brown and Trey Killens out there. They joined Jeff Queen.
If you look up the definition in the Webster Dictionary of athlete, Dean Tate is the definition.
Manuel DeVore Violan is fouled on the drive, but before a shot, so it's going to be out of bounds. And Golden Batsorn going to inbound the basketball to Trent Jakacki. Three-pointer on the way, up and in. Nice shot, Trent Jakacki. He averages over 22 points a game, 22 and a half for this Hiram team.
And he's ultimately what Hiram is going to have to lean on, especially being down now by 13. If you can get him hot, he can get you back in this game. But they're going to need that 1-2 punch, and right now that's been the problem with Hiram so far this season. They've not been able to get that 1-2 punch, but Jakacki, only a junior, he is something special for the Terriers.
Killens, nice dish off to Daniel Asher. He missed a shot, but Eddie Brown with a rebound. Three-pointer, Jeff Queen up and in. Jeff with a couple threes in the ball game.
And when Jeff Queen is feeling it, it does not matter. It doesn't matter how many hands you have on his face. It doesn't matter where he is on the floor. He's going to knock them down each and every time when he's feeling it. One of the best shooters for the Tigers.
And now three the other way by Golden Batsorn.
Great answer back there by Batsorn, and certainly needed it to try to just keep pace with the Tigers. Hiram starting to find their rhythm from deep.
23-10, Tigers up Baker's dozen. Now almost a turnover, but Daniel Asher able to get it, and he gets fouled. Ricky Edsel got a little too aggressive there, and he knew it. They called a foul on him. And that is foul number 3, I think, on Hiram. Yeah, they hadn't put it up yet. They just put it up. 4 fouls on Wittenberg, 3 on Hiram. Terriers, as Jackson told you, looking for win number 1 in conference this year. 2-19, 0-12 in conference play. Dean Tate with the basketball. Eddie Brown. Lob into Daniel Asher. Cross court, Jeff Queen. Jeff's going to drive, put up a shot, he's fouled. Jeff's going to go to the line, where Jeff is a 66% free throw shooter.
Good decision there by Jeff Queen. Realized that he had the open shot, but the defender was closing in rather quickly. And with his momentum, if he was able to get the shot off in time, more than likely it would have been blocked with his momentum. But Jeff Queen, realizing that there was an open lane behind, was able to give a nice pump fake and drive inside. That just goes to show you, when you start hitting from beyond the arc, you get a little bit more respect from the defense. You're going to get a lot more close-ins, and that's going to open up the inside lane. That's exactly what Jeff Queen took advantage there of, and a couple of free throws coming up for Queen.
And he hits both free throws. So he now has 8 points, and the Wittenberg lead back at 15. Their largest lead's been 16, 23-7, now 25-10. Golden Bat swing with the basketball. Or excuse me, that was Manuel DeVore Violan. Nice pass underneath to Ivan Yang.
Beautiful pass, but even a better cut there by Ivan Yang. Yang just got lost in the defense right behind Eddie Brown. And when you run that backdoor cut, it can be so efficient because you're getting extra blocking from the lane, especially if your teammate can pick you up.
Daniel Asher from the foul line, no good. Ivan Yang with a rebound. And now steal by Dean Tate. Dean Tate with a left-hand layup up and in. Nice play, Dean Tate. He snuck in there and stole that ball and scored.
Dean Tate, such an intuitive athlete down there on the floor, and he can make you pay, of course, just kind of lurking in the shadows. His speed able to close in, strip the ball away. Great heads-up play there by Tate.
You did most of football games this year, didn't you, Jackson? And pretty good wide receiver, wasn't he?
Yes, absolutely. I was more on the production side of things. I let Scott Leo and Scobie take control of that.
Shot put up. Didn't hit anything, but there on the rebound was Manuel DeVore Violan. Put it up and in. Jeff Queen with the basketball, 27-14. Scott, voice of the Wittenberg men's football team. And he usually does a lot of the men's games, but this year, and you can't blame him, Daniel Asher with a little short shot in the lane. Going to watch his daughter play at Centerville High School. 29-14, so Scott hadn't done as many men's games this year in basketball. I've done some, and Jackson's done some, and we're happy to fill in for Scott. And now ball knocked out of bounds by Wittenberg. We've got 11 left on the shot clock. Now they're talking it over, and I guess it was not deflected by Wittenberg. So it's going to be a turnover on Hiram. We're going to have a timeout. Is it going to be a full timeout? Yeah, it's going to be a full timeout. Jackson, your thoughts, we'll just keep it right here. Your thoughts about this first 13 minutes plus of the ball game.
Wittenberg, they're playing a complete game, and this is a team, such a well-rounded team the Wittenberg Tigers are. They beat you on the defensive side. They're forced turnovers. They can capitalize on the offensive side. They shoot the three ball well. And one thing that's interesting in this game, they're leading by 15. They have I believe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different players on the scoreboard, and Trey Killens, he only has 4 points in this game.
Yeah.
So it's not like they rely on, yes, Trey Killens averaging close to 20 points per game, but they don't solely rely on Trey Killens. Killens, the quarterback of the offense, he could dish it off. He's a great defender, but you have so many other players built around them, and that's ultimately that goes overlooked for the Wittenberg Tigers. You have Jeff Queen that can shoot the three ball efficiently. You have Cameron Harrison. You have Daniel Asher, Dawson Scott, who can play well. You have Dean Tate, Tyler Galuch that are coming off the bench as well. This is a well-rounded Wittenberg team that doesn't solely rely on one or two of their players. They can rely on each and every one that they check in. And when you're an opponent and you're scouting Wittenberg, the numbers, they all make you want to point towards your focus at Trey Killens, but you focus on him. Wittenberg has so many other different players. It's so many different ways that they can beat you.
29-14. That's Jackson Lightcap. I'm Dave Williams. Glad you're with us tonight here at Pam M. Smith Arena. Dawson Scott drives, puts a shot up off the glass, up and in. Pretty good play because he was nice defense by Mitchell Wychecki, but he's able to put it up and in.
Yeah, absolutely. Just bully ball there by Dawson Scott. It came down to Scott trying to be a little bit more aggressive, and Dawson Scott, a little bit of a smaller player, so no excuse there. No excuse there for Wychecki, but Dawson Scott just playing bowling ball, getting the ball on in the inside, doing what he does best, and that's control the post.
And Dawson just picked up a foul. Bounce pass, Ricky Etzel to Ivan Yang. Ivan Yang throws it away. So give the ball right back to Wittenberg. Eddie Brown going to inbound it. 6:52 left to play in the first half.
This is why Hiram right now on the season, they're 0-12 in conference, they're 2-19. overall on the season. It's just because of errant passes like that. They try to rush. They don't play at a great tempo, and they're out of control.
Nice steal by Trent Jakacki. Trent Jakacki goes up and scores on the layup. By the way, Wittenberg a sizzling 13 of 18 from the floor, 72%. And as you say, Jackson, that's hard to sustain.
Yeah, when you're shooting 72% to begin the game, you're bound to hit a dry spell. It's not going to be sustainable for the game. So that's something, if you're Hiram, you've got to take into account. You're down by 15, but you still have 26 minutes left in game time overall in the game. Clean some stuff up on offense. Take care of those empty possessions and capitalize on them. And Hiram, they're down big, but they're still not out.
Wittenberg down the other end. Dean Tate put up a shot, missed it. But on the other end, he knocks it out of bounds, trying to steal it. Good job. Trent Jakacki with the basketball. 31-16, Wittenberg with a 15-point lead. We're under the 6-minute mark, 5:57. Golden Bat soaring with a drive in the lane, stops, pops, short. Rebound, Trent Jakacki got the rebound, put it up, and he's fouled. Trent Jakacki is going to go to the line for 2. And not the guy you want to foul. He is an 80% free throw shooter. Once again, averages over 22 points a game.
Trent Jakacki, they're doing the little things right, and sometimes a simple box out goes a long way. He was working there against Trey Killens, and out of that mob, the mob that was down underneath the basket, it was almost as if fish were waiting to be fed. The ball was they were just expecting the ball to fall right into their hands. Jakacki, he was the only one that worked for it. Out of the 10 players on the floor, the only one that was boxing out, and it's not a coincidence that the ball just so happened to fall into his hands. He was the one that was working for it. And again, it's the little things in the sport of basketball that can result in big plays.
And, hats off to him. I mean, here's a team that's 2-19, haven't won a game in conference play, and he is playing hard all the time. Trent Jakacki, I should say. 31-18, Tiger lead been trimmed to 13. Trey Killens with the basketball. Jackson said Tigers have 8 players already have scored.
When it comes to Wittenberg, it's not necessarily that this is a one-time thing. There's consistently games where they're getting double-digit amount of players on the scoreboard.
Dawson Scott just picked up his second foul as he fouls Mitchell Wychecki, fighting for a rebound. So if they come down, if they could hit a 3, they'd be back within 10. Coming off the bench, Keith Rivers getting ready to check back in. I'm sure he's coming in for, well, wait a minute. Oh, he's got to wait until one free throw has been shot. I think. No, they're saying he can come in. Dawson Scott's the one who told him, hey, wait a minute, don't come in. But Coach Croce says, oh, no, wait a minute. He can come in. So Mitchell Wychecki, that's a 7th-team foul. Yeah, so it's 1-1, so he's allowed to check in. Mitchell Wychecki, I didn't realize Wittenberg had many fouls already. Free throw, no good. Rebound, Trey Killens. That's Eddie Rivers. Or Keith Rivers. And now we have a foul the other way on James Moore. That's their 5th foul. Back in the lineup, Dushan Hill for Hiram. And he's coming in for James Moore. I don't think they want James Moore to pick up foul number 3. That's his 2nd foul here in the first half.
Yeah, especially their second leading scorer on this team, averaging 10.7 points per game. He's a big playmaker for Hiram, and they need him through the length. Jeff
Queen, a nice drive, didn't go. Keith Rivers there on the rebound. His shot didn't fall, but he got fouled. So Keith's going to go line for 2. That's foul number 6. Now, Keith Rivers from the foul line is 4 for 9 this year. So this is going to be his 10th free throw coming up. He hit both these, will be over 50%. Free thrown away, and it's in. So he's now at 50%. 5 for 10 on the year. Tigers up 14. Keith Rivers, second free throw, no good, too strong. Mitchell Wychecki with a rebound. Golden Bat soaring. Golden Bat soaring with a basketball. Over to Dushan Hill. Dushan's going to drive back to Bat soaring. Back to Dushan Hill. Inside to Mitchell Wychecki. He forces a shot up, and he is fouled by Keith Rivers. Wychecky's going to go back the foul line where he is 0 for 1. He missed the front of the one-on-one last time. He averages 4.8 points per game, but he's a 56% free throw shooter. Or excuse me, 56% free throw shooter. Takes a deep breath here. 32-18, Tigers up 14. 4:37 to play first half. Nothing but net on that one.
Yeah, Mitchell Wychecki, 4.8 points per game, but 6'8" down on the floor. One of the bigger players that we're going to see through the entire length of this game. And Wychecki, only a freshman, so still a lot of things he can improve on. And one of those things he's got to improve on is that free throw percentage. If he can find a way to start shooting efficiently at the free throw line, this is a guy that can average double-digit amount of scorings every single night.
He splits the free throws there. Tigers up by Baker's dozen, 32-19. Back in lineup, Brock McCrancy for Hiram and Trey Killens. Nice drive down the lane off the glass. Tigers back up 15, 34-19. Nice play by Trent Jakacki. He split two players, but his layup just fell off the rim. That was a great move, just didn't go to him.
And with Trent Jakacki leading the way, the junior, the true leader of this team for Hiram. I'll say it again, Hiram, Trent Jakacki is absolutely tremendous. What they're missing is they're missing that 1-2 punch with him. And obviously we've seen glimpses of that with James Moore this season, but they need more consistency on the offensive side. They can get more consistency on the offensive side. The future's bright for the Terriers.
Trey Killens' three-pointer no good. Dushan Hill the other way. He puts up a three. That one's short. We're going to have a jump ball, and it will belong to Wittenberg. Trent Jakacki tied that one up, so he's right there in the midst of everything. 34-19, we've got a timeout. It's going to be a full timeout. We'll take a break. I'm Dave Williams, Jackson Lightcap with me, and we're glad you're with us tonight. Wittenberg leads by 15, 3:42 left to play in the first half. We'll be back. Welcome back here to Pam Emma Smith Arena. Dave Williams, Jackson Lightcap. We're here for the nightcap tonight of a double dip. Wittenberg women winning the first game handily, their game. And now the men on top right here. 34-19, 15-point lead, 3:42 left to play, and pretty much been Wittenberg from the get-go. They jumped off to a 5-0 lead, and they've led from the start.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say this, Hiram has done a better job at staying consistent over the last little bit of this game. When you look at the scoring between the 10-minute mark and now the 3.5-minute mark, they're even. So now what does Hiram has to find something to get over that hump and start outscoring the Wittenberg Tigers. They've hit that brick wall. This is a perfect opportunity from Hiram. If they don't capitalize on this, Wittenberg's going to run away with it.
Cameron Harrison missed a three. Dushan Hills missed a couple threes. Now Trent Jakacki with a rebound. He puts up a three. They just missed three on Wittenberg. Just turn the ball over. Unforced. That's the kind of thing that drives the coach crazy. There's three Wittenberg Tigers there. They pass, and it goes off Cameron Harrison. I mean, nobody's there from Hiram. They just threw the ball away. Careless turnover. Go ahead.
Just looked like there was a miscommunication there. I think that Keith Rivers wanted to get the ball into the hands of Cameron Harrison to push the floor. In reality, Trey Killens wanted to slow it down, but in that situation, you always get the ball into the hands of your point guard, not your shooting guard. You got to find it and get it into the hands of your point guard, which in that case would have been Trey Killens, but Keith Rivers, humble young man, he knows his mistake. He's going to own up to it. Wittenberg, they're lucky to have a player like him, especially one who can take accountability in those situations.
He just made a good defensive play down on the baseline.
He'll make up for it multiple times.
Deflected a pass. Deshaun Hill, another three-pointer. Again, he missed it. And that one came at the shot clock buzzer.
Keith Rivers, once again, working down low, was able to tip that one out to Cameron Harrison, so you could tell he's already making up for it.
They are 2 for 13 from beyond the arc, so they're not afraid to put it up from beyond the arc. Cameron Harrison to Keith Rivers. Nice spin move, but he loses the ball and goes out of bounds. And what are they calling?
I think that one should have been a foul. It looked like when Rivers made that spin move and hit the deck, it looked like he was tripped up a little bit by Estelle, and Estelle, they will get Estelle with the foul, and that's ultimately the right call because he looked to try to close off that baseline, which is exactly what you want to do. But remember, as a defender, it's your responsibility to make sure you get there first and get your feet set. When you cannot do that, that's going to be a blocking foul, and Keith Rivers was able to force that foul, and all Estelle tried to do there was slide over and ultimately tripped Rivers. Good call.
By the way, I apologize. I called him Edsel. I looked too quick. You're right. It's Esdel, not Edsel, so it's Esdel. And by the way, Keith Rivers short on that free throw, 34-19. That's been the score here for about a minute or so.
Both teams have gone ice cold after it seemed like both teams are starting to heat up.
Daniel Sensi is in the lineup. Pass to Ricky Esdel. I think he is fouled. So he's going to go to the line for 1 and 1.
And again, this is what we were talking about a little bit earlier in the broadcast. When you have a team such as Hiram and the Terriers who only shoot 65% from the free throw line, you're going to have if you are scouting Hiram and if you're going up against them, you're telling your defense, hey, let's be aggressive. Let's be aggressive more than what we usually are because even if we get in foul trouble, they're not going to connect. As a free throw shooting team, you want to be right around the 75% range, at least over 70. But when you're shooting 65% from the free throw line, you be more aggressive, and especially with a team with that Hiram and how much they turn over the ball. Already 9 turnovers here in this first half. You tell your team, be aggressive, force the turnovers, capitalize on those turnovers. If you foul, so what? Just don't get yourself into foul trouble. If the team's in foul trouble, chances are they're going to go to the line and not capitalize. But unfortunately for Wittenberg, that plan and that play style did not work out for them. They go 2 for 2.
Yeah, Ricky Esdel with 2 good free throws, and so Tiger lead at 13. Daniel Asher back in lineup. Over to Dawson Scott. Back to Trey Killens. Trey's going to drive. Looks like he might got wait a little push off there. Jeff Queen going to drive, go up for a shot. Little contact, no call. Mitchell Wychecki with a rebound to Trent Jakacki. With the basketball, Trent Jakacki. Three-pointer on the way. That is short by Daniel Sensias.
With how poor Hiram shoots the 3 ball, they're 2 of 14 today. They shoot 27% on the season. My question is, why are you still jacking up the 3 ball?
Yeah, Trey Killens with a nice drive down the lane, little floater in the lane. He gets it to bounce in.
The 3 ball is very effective, but if you're not hitting them, it's just going to dig yourself a hole. And we see it time in and time out. Teams, they get down by this much, and they rely solely on the trifecta to try to get themselves back in it, which in reality you can't do. You got to go on runs, you got to play great defense, you got to capitalize. Hiram doing quite the opposite what they need to do to get themselves back in this one.
And while you're saying that, Mitchell Wychecki missed a 3.
2 of 15 now.
Yeah, 2 of 15. Nice drive. Golden Betsoring, boy, missed a layup by a mile there. I don't know what happened there.
Made a nice move. You got to find a way to reward yourself. For Cameron Harrison, there's no doubt about it. He was beat there. It's a layup.
Yeah, that thing was way off. Didn't look like anybody deflected it. 12 seconds left to play first half. Trey Killens with the basketball. Shot clock off. Trey Killens going to drive. Trey Killens going to put it up off the glass. No good. Tip, no good. Dawson Scott to buzzer. Off the glass and in.
He's good at doing that, isn't he? At the buzzer, the second chance put back. He did it again to send their game against DePaul into overtime. So Ultimately, Wittenberg, Dawson Scott, he's good at those second chance putbacks at the buzzer. Good first half for the Tigers.
Matt Croce shaking his head as he walks off the floor. So even though they're up 17, I don't think he's real happy. But Tigers up 38-21. And let's take a look at the individual scoring. And then, as always, we'll come back right before start second half, give you all the team numbers. Mitchell Wychecki has 1 point. Ricky Esdell 2. Ivan Yang 2. And Manuel DeVore-Violan with 2 for Hiram. Golden Bat Soaring has 3. And that is not Addison Singletary. That is James Moore with 4. And Trent Jacaki with 7. For the Tigers, 2 each for Daniel Asher, Tyler Galuch, and Dean Tate. 3 for Keith Rivers. 5 for Cameron Harrison. Dawson Scott and Trey Killens with 8 each. Also Jeff Queen with 8. So you got 3 players tied with 8. So that is good balanced scoring. 3 with 8, 1 with 5, 1 with 3, and 3 more players with 2. So good balanced scoring for Wittenberg. Real quick, your thoughts on that first half?
I think Wittenberg, they're playing a complete first half, and we're seeing why Hiram has struggled all this season. They're not able to get over the aggressiveness that Wittenberg's defenses possess. They're turning over the ball way too much. 9 turnovers in that first half. And here's the question I just asked a couple minutes ago. Why in the world are you still shooting the 3 ball?
Yeah.
You shoot 27% on the season from beyond the arc, and you're 2 of 15 here in this one. So why shooting the 3 ball has proven that is not going to get you back in this game. So why continue to do it? Hiram, what they need to do, they have to find a way to force defensive turnovers. They have to find a way to go on runs and get defensive stops and swing momentum back on their favor. They can claw their way back in this game by just going to work down in the low post and mid-range jump shot anywhere to that caliber. But as soon as they step outside the three ball and shoot the 3 ball, they've struggled. So they have got to shy away from shooting the 3 ball until they find their rhythm.
Yeah, again, other games tonight, Oberlin at Worcester. That's a big one. Kenyon at Ohio Wesleyan, and Denison at DePaul on the men's side. Okay, we're going to take a break at halftime here. We're going to be back in about 10 minutes, and we'll take a look at the team numbers from the first half. I'm Dave Williams. That's Jackson Lightcap, and we're delighted you're with us for this second of our double dip tonight, Wittenberg and Hiram. We'll be back in about 10 minutes.
To rise above the competition, generations of Wittenberg Tigers have been encouraged to reach down deep for something more. More than skill or strength, more than precision or power, they were asked to do something extra, something beyond themselves. They needed to tiger up. Coined by a Hall of Fame coach and chanted repeatedly for decades since, Tiger Up serves as the rallying cry for championship teams and All-American performances. It calls us to greater determination and an unwavering spirit. To wear the red and white of Wittenberg is an honor, a tradition of excellence to uphold. So is the opportunity to Tiger Up. It's more than a phrase, it's a legacy that binds us, uniting us in victorious celebration and spurring us on to greater heights, even in defeat. Tiger Up echoes across campus, bridging the past and the present as we stand together as Wittenberg Tigers. With the trademark now officially ours, we embrace a new era where the roar of the Tigers resounds louder than ever before. And through it, we will continue to define what it means to compete at the highest levels, inspired by tradition and in full embrace of a promising future. Tiger Up.
I'm thrilled to be at Wittenberg at this time and place, as the university is perfectly positioned to welcome an esports program like none other. Wittenberg's impressive athletics tradition and Tiger Up spirit, mixed with a strong commitment to student success, will allow for a program that competes at the highest level while also caring deeply for each player, both personally and professionally. Esports at Wittenberg will not only be about gaming, but will also be about changing the game. Together, we will build a supportive, dynamic community as we bring our own distinct light to the global phenomenon of esports right here in Springfield, Ohio. It's time to Tiger Up. Let's go.
hate giant stadiums. I don't need to be lectured. The world telling me how it's all falling apart before I've even gotten started. What I need is my own pen. I need mentors, advisors, and brilliant minds who put just as much into my success as I do. I need more than a university. I need a partner who believes that a higher education takes all of us.
All right, welcome back here to Pam M. Smith Arena. A couple minutes before the start of the second half. Let's take a look. Wittenberg up 38-21. Hiram 7 of 27 in the first half, 26%. Wittenberg 16 of 28, still sizzling, 57%. Hiram 2 of 15, 13%. And as you heard Jackson say, why they keep jacking up those threes. Wittenberg 3 of 7, 43%. Hiram from the foul line, not bad, 5 of 7, 71%. And Wittenberg 3 of 5, 60%. Now turnovers, Hiram with 9, Wittenberg with 5. Points off turnovers, though, Wittenberg able to turn those 9 turnovers into 15 points. Hiram got 5 points off the Wittenberg turnovers. Now the one thing Hiram is doing, they're out rebounding Wittenberg 19-14, and they have 8 offensive rebounds, just 2 for Wittenberg. Assists, Wittenberg 5, Hiram 3. Blocks, Wittenberg 1, Hiram nothing. Steals 5-3 Wittenberg. Bench points, Wittenberg all over that, 15-7. Second chance points, Wittenberg 6-4. Points in the paint, Wittenberg killing them, 24-8. And fast break points, Oberlin has that, 4-0. But the important thing is, Tigers up 17 at the break, 38-21. Jackson is getting ready to start the second half.
Yeah, in this second half, it's going to be big. And if Wittenberg can go out and the way I like to gauge these sort of games, when you're down by 17 at halftime, a 10-0 run goes a long way. If Hiram goes on a 10-0 run, they're back within single digits. It's a 7-point game. We got a ball game on our hands. Wittenberg goes on a 10-0 run to begin this second half.
Oh, yeah.
It's ball game. It's practically all she wrote. So the first 4 minutes of this second half is going to be big ultimately in the long-term longevity of this game. Wittenberg, you go on a 10-0 run, you can ice it early and sustain that lead. You're going to start to see some reserves come in. Hiram, you go on a 10-0 run, you're right back in it with confidence as well.
And you know what? You were right, because they're late in the second half. They were within 13 a couple different times. And you're right, they kept jacking up threes and missing. And maybe if they drive down, maybe they get fouled, maybe they can score. Maybe they get the lead under 10 points. But good for Wittenberg is they just kept jacking up the threes and they kept missing. All right, let's start second half. Trent Chikaki and Dushan Hill, James Moore, Mitchell Wychecki, and Ivan Yang, so the original starters. Original starters out there for Wittenberg also. Cameron Harrison, Trey Killens, Eddie Brown, Jeff Queen, and Daniel Asher. Three-pointer, again, how about that? 2 for 16. They just called a foul on Jeff Queen. He can't believe it. But they are now 2 of 16 from beyond the arc.
I was just going to say, that's got to be a focal point in the locker room for Hiram to stop shooting the three. And what did they do in the first 15 seconds of the second half? They shoot a three.
They weren't listening to you.
They are
what the heck?
2 of 16 on the game. You are not going to come back in this game by just continuing to shoot the three. They hit 2 in a row. Their confidence soared through the roof. But in reality, they're not hitting it. They got to go back to their offensive style game plan. They got to start working it to the inside. You find your rhythm, you find your touch from the inside. It's only going to help you out from beyond the arc, but you got to start down low first.
Dushan Hill with the basketball. 19:41 left to play in our ball game. Just started the second half. Dushan Hill bounce pass to Mitchell Wychecki. Makes a move in the lane, but loses the basketball. Now it's still loose. Picked up by Trent Chikaki. I think they're calling. Did they call him? Oh, I think we have a shot clock problem.
They put it up to 20 seconds, and that's one of the trickier, in that sort of scenario, it's a little bit tricky to kind of figure out if it's going to be 30 seconds on the shot clock or 20 seconds on the shot clock, because does Wittenberg have full possession? They're going to go to the replay monitor.
I don't think they did. I think it's going to be probably maybe around 21, 20 seconds, something like that.
And the officials are going to go to the replay monitor, and what they're looking for right now is, does Wittenberg have full possession? We saw Harrison pick it up for a second, but he lost it. So what establishes full possession of that ball? If Wittenberg has full possession of the ball, the shot clock should be at 30 seconds. But if they don't, and the ball's just kicked around and Harrison doesn't have full possession for a couple of seconds, then it's going to be Hiram basketball, and the clock will not reset, which is exactly what just happened.
I was a little off. There's 3 seconds left on the shot clock.
And that's exactly what happened. They're going to say Wittenberg did not have full possession of the ball, and since the ball did not touch the rim and it was a turnover, the clock will not reset to 20 or 30. Right. They have 3 seconds to get a shot off.
Dushan Hill going to inbound, trying to get to Trent Chikaki. He does. Chikaki's going to shoot a long 3. No good. Rebound.
That
Another
three I'm okay with. That three I'm okay with because that's the only shot that would have been available there in that situation.
Now 2 for 17 beyond the arc. Cameron Harrison to Eddie Brown. Eddie Brown back to Cameron Harrison. He puts up a three. Looked like he got hit, no call, but didn't say anything, so I don't think he did. Dushan Hill quickly down court. And wild shot put up, no good.
It looked like he was trying to do a little bit too much, draw the foul. Great discipline there by Cameron Harrison, not falling for the game, staying his style of defense. And that's something that the young junior is going to have to realize, that not every time you take it to the hole you're going to get fouled. You should not bank on drawing the foul, but you need to find a way to try to get the shot to go.
Yeah, that was James Moore, put up kind of a wild shot. Daniel Asher with a short shot from baseline, no good. Mitchell Wychecki with a rebound. Here come the Terriers. Trent Jacaki over to Dushan Hill, another three on the way. He hit it. Dushan Hill hits a three for Dushan. I want to look down because he's 1 for 5 now. I think he's 1 for 5, or is he 2 for 6?
You know the saying, a broken clock is still right 2 times a day. When you keep hitting, it's a trap.
Wow, they call
a travel there, but
they call foul on Ivan Yang.
I think that should have been a travel. I think that was great defense there by Yang. Brown went up into the air and came back down, but going back to Hiram, when you're shooting as many threes as you are, obviously you're going to get some of them to fall, but I mean, only shooting 17% from beyond the arc, you still got to find ways to work it out inside. We've played 2 minutes here in this second half. We've seen 3 threes already shot by Hiram.
Taylor Roth was not happy with that call. He thought it was a clean block.
I think it should have been a travel on Eddie.
Eddie Brown hits the first free throw. At least that, or maybe even a jump ball or something. But yeah, I agree. I thought they were going to call traveling. Eddie Brown hits them both. So Eddie's shooting 62%, but he looked good on both of those. And you're right. You want to hit at least 70% of your free throws if you can. Quickly, James Moore dishes off, and it's almost stolen. James Moore got a little out of control there. He was trying to dish it off to Ivan Yang. And now what do we have?
Looks like
Are they going to overrule it? No. It's still going to be, and I think that's a good call. Still going to be Hiram basketball. 40-24, Tigers up 16. 17:54 to play in our ball game. Trent Jacaki with the basketball. Trent with 7 points, averages 22.5. Drive shot, too strong. Off the glass. Put up by James Moore. Trent Jacaki, three from the corner. No good. Rebound, Cameron Harrison. Ahead, Trent Killen's going to go up for the layup. Got it. Trey Killens with 10 now. He's the first Tiger in double figures, Trey Killens. Dushan Hill just scored on the other end. He's fouled by Daniel Asher.
What a move there by Dushan Hill. And Hiram, that's a great offensive possession, realizing Wittenberg was a little bit slow getting back after that layup by Trey Killens. They're slow getting back on defense. Great hustle by Hiram, realizing that and getting to the other end of the floor, and Dushan Hill doing the rest and cashing in on the and one. Nice play there by Hill.
Dushan Hill just hits 48% of his free throws, but he hit that one. Hit the rim, rolled around a little bit, but fell in. 42-27, Tiger lead at 15. It's been hovering around 13 to 15 to 16 for most of the game, actually.
If you take away that 20-4 start for Wittenberg, Hiram, they're outscoring the Tigers since Wittenberg's 20-4 run to begin the game has ended. So now the question is, if Hiram wants to get back in this game, how do they get over that hump and how do they start to outscore the Tigers?
Trey Killen's great drive, lifted it up off the right, off the glass, and in. Trent Jacaki shot from the foul line, no good. Cameron Harrison, boy, I tell you what, there was a lot of contact there. No call. And now the ball's loose on the floor. We're going to have a jump ball. So it should be Wittenberg on the alternating possession. Man, there was a lot of contact there. You think Cameron Harrison had the ball and got knocked over. All right, back in the lineup, Grayson Steary for the Tigers. Also, let's see who else is in there. Dawson Scott, Jeff Queen, Grayson Steary, Eddie Brown, Trey Killen. So Grayson Sterry and Dawson Scott in the lineup. Trey Killens with the basketball over to Dawson Scott. He's going to drive, put the shot up, no good. Fine for the now we're going to have a foul on Dawson Scott. He and Ivan Yang were kind of going to it.
And that's been a common theme. I started to see that a little bit at the end of the first half. I kind of kept my mouth shut a little bit because I figured that the intermission would calm both these teams down, but we're starting to see a little bit of chippiness settle in between both these teams. And obviously a rivalry game, an in-conference game. Emotions are high. Hiram having a tough season. Wittenberg trying to get back in the win column. So ultimately a lot going down in this one. And the team's starting to get chippy. It's an emotional game. It's a physical game out there on the floor.
And that's going to be the third foul on Dawson Scott, so he's going to have to take a seat. Keith Rivers going to come in and replace him. Golden Batsoren getting ready to check back in for Hiram after the timeout. 27 for Hiram, 44 for Wittenberg, 17-point lead. We've got 16:20 left to play in our ball game. I'm Dave Williams. With me is Jackson Lightcap. We'll be here Saturday afternoon for the Wittenberg women. They take on Worcester at 2 o'clock. Then the men will be playing Saturday night. I have the call there with Jim Scobie, the coach. That one's going to tip off at 7 o'clock. So are you going to have a rare Saturday night off, Jackson?
I guess so. There's not many Saturday nights off I get anymore, but I know the lady at home will like that one.
I was going to say, it's a weekend before Valentine's Day. You can go out, take your lady out.
I know the lady at home will like that one, that finally have a Saturday night off. So it'll be a good change, and especially with Wittenberg and NCAC tournament play going to start up, their regular season winding down. The OHSAA, their high school tournament for the girls' side starts next week, so busyness is about to ensue.
Yeah. My main squeeze of almost 42 years over here to my left with me tonight, the lovely Vicki Williams. Yeah, Valentine's Day coming up next week. How about that? All right, real quick, what's your thoughts? Super Bowl, who you picking?
It's hard, but I know that the 49ers are the better team on paper. I know that they're the better team on the field, but it's just hard to vote against Patrick Mahomes.
I'm with you.
I can't do it. I cannot bet against Patrick Mahomes
I thought Buffalo would beat him. They didn't. I thought Baltimore didn't. They didn't beat him. So, again, I'm not betting against Mahomes.
Anytime Patrick Mahomes is viewed as the underdog, he wins.
Yep, absolutely.
Every single time.
All right, here we go. About ready to start action again. 16:20 left. Golden Batsoren with the basketball. Jeff Queen on him. Again, Jeff Sterry and Keith Rivers back out there for Scott Dawson. Or Dawson Scott, excuse me. Dawson picked up his third foul. Eddie Brown on James Moore. Bounce pass inside, throw it away. Trying to get it to Ricky Esdell, who's back in the lineup.
I like that cut there by Ricky Esdell, and I like the idea there by James Moore. Just not able to capitalize on that. A little bit of a miscommunication, but they had the right idea in mind. And Hiram, they're smart players. They know what it takes to win. They know what to do to win. They just cannot execute. And again, we talk about the youth on this team. It's only going to work itself out over time.
Trey Killens puts up a three, no good. Rebound, Trent Jakacki. Golden Batsoren throws it to Deshaun Hill and almost lost it, but he was able to corral it before it went over and back. Deshaun Hill drives, dishes off. Nice dish off. Ricky Esdell with a layup. Nice assist by Deshaun Hill. Ricky Esdell with a bucket. Back to 15-point lead, 44-29. 15:05 left to play in our ball game. Bounce pass inside, foul on Batsoren. Golden Batsoren picks up the foul. That's the second foul on Hiram. Wittenberg has three so far in the second half. Tyler Gluch back in the lineup. Going to give Jeff Queen a well-deserved rest. Jeff a bucket away from double figures, so is Dawson Scott.
Jeff Queen, he was very hot to begin this one. Since then's cooled off, but it's only a matter of time before he starts getting things going again.
Almost a steal by Trent Jakacki, but Trey Killens with a nice job to save it. Tyler Galuch is fouled. That's foul number 3 now on Hiram. I think Dushan Hill maybe picked that up.
I do like how Hiram's going a little bit more aggressive on the defensive side. They must be listening to me because I mentioned that they need to force turnovers, and they're getting a little bit more aggressive. Yes, it's resulted in a couple more fouls than they'd like, but at the end of the day, it's also going to result in more turnovers. But a great adjustment there by Wittenberg to be able to counter this aggressive defense.
Tyler Galuch, 3 from the left corner, up and in for the Catholic Central product. And Wittenberg now, I'm pretty sure it's their biggest lead of the game at 18.
And we talk about how Wittenberg, they've been able to adjust and they've been able to find their way against this aggressive defense, and they did it right there. Killens, unbothered, was able to kick this one to Galuch, and Galuch goes up, nails a shot.
Ricky Esdell's pass is stolen away, and Keith Rivers goes up for a shot. And he misses it, but he's fouled by Esdell.
And
so go ahead.
I know Esdell is not a too huge fan, and he's shrugging his shoulders, looking at the official. But it's the right call. Anytime an offensive player gets into the post and can get his defender up in the air, he's a free body. So if you're playing offense, everybody watching at home that wants to pursue basketball, if you're in the post and if you somehow get your defender in the air and you're able to jump up into him, no matter what, it's not going to be a foul on you. It's going to be a foul on the defender unless you absolutely lower your shoulder and football hit stick them. But anytime your defender goes up in the air, it's a free body, and that's exactly what Keith Rivers was able to do there. So Esdell, not a big fan of that foul, but ultimately the right call. It was just a great move there by Rivers.
Splits the free throw, so he is now 2 for 5 in the ball game from the free throw line. So Keith Rivers on the year now, 6 for 14 from the foul line. Nice pass underneath, shot up and in. Ivan Yang.
Yang just got lost there underneath, and a beautiful find there by James Moore. Moore does so much for Hiram. He's proven it so far today. Wittenberg again, just what a tremendous game so far from Wittenberg.
Yeah, that was a good assist. Shot put up by Eddie Brown, and he is fouled by Ivan Yang.
Once again, we see an offensive player get to the hole, put up a ball fake, get his defender up in the air, go up and draw the foul. That's a great heads-up play by Eddie Brown and Wittenberg. They're going back to the fundamentals. They're going back to the basics, and it's showing once again on the scoreboard. You were talking about it, how the lead was really hovering around 13 to 15. Wittenberg, they've gone on a nice little run, has now gained their largest lead of the game, up by 18, a chance to make it 19. Wittenberg, after that timeout that was on the floor a couple minutes ago, they went back to the basics. They're doing the little things. They're playing great fundamental basketball, and once again, the little things make for big plays.
13:49 left to play. Wittenberg now with their biggest lead as Eddie Brown hit both free throws, so it's now 50 to 31.
By the way, anybody out there, I am on the market for coaching job as well.
There we go. Pass inside to Ivan Yang and stolen away by Keith Rivers. Nice play by Keith. Keith ahead to Trey Killens. Trey goes up for a shot, doesn't score. Rebound Keith Rivers, and he got fouled again. So Keith going to get his crack again to try and get to 50% from the free throws for the year.
Keith Rivers, a player for the Wittenberg Tigers that he comes off the bench, he provides a spark, but the number one thing that head coach Matt Croce trusts in Keith Rivers is his hustle. You know that he's not going to take plays off, and you know he's going to be involved in each and every single play, whether it's on the offensive side or the defensive side. There is one aspect of his game he can improve, and that's free throw shooting. But at the same time, you know with what you're getting out of a player in Keith Rivers, and when you have Keith Rivers on the floor, think about how many defensive plays he's made, think about how many plays he's made underneath, a player that you know is going to give it his all at 110%.
Yeah, he just split. He looks like he's very stiff when he shoots the free throws. He did hit the second one, hit the front of the rim, bounced up and went through. Trent Jakacki with a shot up and in. Nice play by Trent Jakacki. He now has 9 points. 1 point away from being in double figures. 51-33. Wittenberg was up 20. Now Jeff Steary, shot no good. Rebound comes down. The golden ball bat soaring. He drives all the way down, puts up left hand, he scores.
We talk about Wittenberg and how great they've been on the offensive side and how they truly believe sharing is caring. 9 different scorers in this game, and out of those 9 different scorers, only one of them in double figures, and that's Trey Killens with 12.
Tyler Galuch just got fouled. He's going to go to the line for 2. And that is foul was on Manuel DeVore Violan.
It's tough to believe that Tyler Galuch, just about this time last season, he was getting career accolades, breaking records at Springfield Catholic Central, especially in their tournament run that they had last season for Division IV. And Dave, I was lucky enough to be able to call a couple of Tyler Galuch's games during that OHSA tournament on the TKDS and NFHS network last season. And just from watching him play the first couple of times I saw him play at the high school level, I knew that he was going to amount to be somebody great. And seeing him stay and choose his hometown college, his hometown university, and see the spark he's been able to provide for Wittenberg off the bench. And this is a player that's just going to continue to work, and he's going to get better each and every year. Wittenberg, they certainly got a steal picking the hometown kid in Tyler Galuch.
Dean Tate, Cameron Harrison, and Daniel Asher back out there for Wittenberg. And they're going to join Eddie Brown and who else stayed out there? And Tyler Galuch, of course. Tyler Galuch just picks up the foul on the drive, but non-shooting foul. Hiram, by the way, already with 7 fouls for Wittenberg. By the way, that's Tyler Galuch's 4th foul. Man, I didn't realize he had that many fouls because he has not played that many minutes tonight. Let's look and see what they've got his minutes. No, they don't have his minutes down here on this.
With that being said, with 4 fouls, we might see him return here in about 5 to 6 minutes, but with him with that bench roll, starters might be playing around that time. We might see him again, but...
Jeez, I'm telling you, there is a lot of contact going on, and it looked like Jeff Queen just got knocked over, and they stole the ball, and now they call a foul on Wittenberg. Wittenberg had the ball and was traveling, going down the end, and he just got knocked over. They picked it up, and Trent Jakaki's going to be fouled. He's going to go to the line for 2, where he can be the first Terrier in double figures if he hits his first free throw. And again, he's an 80% or so. He hits it, bounced off the front of the rim, hit the glass, and fell through.
Dave, we're still at 12-11 left to play in this one, and ultimately that 10-0 run that I mentioned at halftime that could swing the game in either direction, that's still in play here. These teams have played pretty even here in this second half. 10-0 run certainly changes the complexion of this game to whoever it goes to.
Trent Jakaki hit the second free throw, same as he did the first. Hit the rim, bounced off the glass, and fell in. Daniel Asher, now we have a foul on Hiram. Wittenberg's going to be at the line for 1 and 1 because that's Hiram's 8th foul.
Yeah, it was James Moore and Jeff Queen. It looked like they were getting a little handsy down low, and foul there will go on James Moore for Hiram.
Timeout with exactly 12 minutes left to play in our ball game. Wittenberg up 15, 52-37. When we come back, Jeff Queen will be at the line for 1 and 1. We'll be back after this.
I'm thrilled to be at Wittenberg at this time and place, as the university is perfectly positioned to welcome an esports program like none other. Wittenberg's impressive athletics tradition and Tiger Up spirit, mixed with a strong commitment to student success, will allow for a program that competes at the highest level while also caring deeply for each player, both personally and professionally. Esports at Wittenberg will not only be about gaming, but will also be about changing the game. Together, we will build a supportive, dynamic community as we bring our own distinct light to the global phenomenon of esports right here in Springfield, Ohio. It's time to Tiger Up. Let's go.
All right, back here at Payman Smith Arena, Jeff Queen steps to the foul line for 1 and 1. Wittenberg up by 15 with 12 minutes left to play in this one. Jeff Queen free thrown away, up and in, nothing but net. Jeff Queen with a good touch. That's point number 9. As Jackson told you, he had 2 threes and a bucket early in the first half. He had 8 quick ones. Now he can join double figures, and he does.
And he was the one for the Tigers that certainly took the scoreboard first. So the Terriers, their defense started to circle Jeff Queen. So there's no coincidence why Jeff Queen's gone more silent scoring and why players such as Trey Killens and Dawson Scott has gotten more open looks.
Nice bounce pass. The Golden Bat soaring him, but he misses it. And the ball goes out of bounds off wide check in. Give the ball back to Wittenberg. Actually, I don't think that was that wide check in? It was wide checking. That couldn't corral the rebound. Bounce pass. Dawson Scott back out there. Dawson going for double figures. His shot no good. Back the other way. Going like crazy down the middle. Put up a wild layup, no good. Dawson Scott the other way. His shot's no good. And they're just going crazy left and right. By the way, that was Manuel DeVore Violan that didn't score. Now another shot off for Hiram. Give the ball back to Wittenberg. Let's take a look at these shooting percentages. Hiram now 13 of, I think, 42. I don't think they have that last one up there. Wittenberg now under 50%. They're at 49% though. Dean Tate with a ball, shot from the foul line, up and in. Dean Tate. Tigers back up 19. Dean Tate now points 3 and 4.
Dean Tate, he's a player that can come off the bench, and it's so rare, especially at this level, where you can have a player that can come off the bench and play limited, restricted amount of minutes, but still absolutely take over a game at any given point of time. He's a great complementary player, especially to Trey Killens. And Dean Tate, what he brings to the table for the Wittenberg Tigers, we've seen it multiple times this season where he'll check in and he'll have 8 back-to-back points for the Wittenberg Tigers. So with Dean Tate coming off the bench, who can turn the tide of a game at any given moment, it's certainly an asset and a weapon that Wittenberg has.
Golden Bat soaring traveled. Now the ball back to Wittenberg. Cameron Harrison just nails a 3, his second 3 of the ball game. He now has 8 points. I tell you what, yeah, you're right. It's getting a little chippy out there. I think Jeff Queen and James Moore have to be separated.
Yeah, Jeff Queen, I think, just got called for the technical. As soon as Cameron Harrison hit that 3, Jeff Queen looked at James Moore and taunted. He gave a motion, and it was definitely taunt. It happened right in front of the official. Times like that, if it's right in front of the official, you're going to get called 10 out of 10 times.
But it looks like they didn't call technical. They must have just talked to both teams.
Might have been a warning for both sides.
Hiram's got the ball. Tigers now with their biggest lead at 22. That just came out of nowhere. But
I'm sure James Moore might have said something, or Jeff Queen might have said something first. The other one retaliated, and instead of going with the double technical, I'm sure that's why they gave a warning.
Dushan Hill hits a 3. He's now up to 9 points. He's heating up a little bit, and he's now 2 for 6 from beyond the arc. Jeff Queen with the basketball, 59-40. Dean Tate going to put up a 3. Dean Tate with a 3. Dean Tate now with 7 points.
He's just an incredible weapon that you can have off the bench. Again, his ability to take over the game at any given point in time. He's got the last 5 points. Or I beg your pardon, he's got 5 of the last 8 points for the Tigers.
Dushan Hill, 3-pointer rims out. Daniel Asher from inside the 3-point line, up and in. 64-40, Tigers up 24.
And Wittenberg, we talk about that 10-0 run. What are they on right now? They're on a 10-0 run for the Wittenberg Tigers. Now up by 24, less than 9 minutes ago. Wittenberg in great position to try to run away with this one.
Mitchell Wychecky is fouled. We've got 8:47 left to play. Mitchell Wychecky's going to go to the line. Yeah, if that's on Dawson Scott, let's wait and see.
I beg your pardon, not a 10-0 run. It's a 10-3 run because of that 3 that Hiram just hit a couple of minutes ago.
So Dawson Scott just picked up his 4th foul. So the Tigers now with Two players in foul trouble with 4 fouls each, Dawson Scott and Tyler Galuch. Mitchell Wychecki at the line, free throw up and in. Wychecki is a 56% free throw shooter. Manuel DeVore-Violan back in the lineup along with Brock McCrancy. They join Dushan Hill, Trent Jacacki, and of course Mitchell Wychecki, and he hits both free throws. So nice job by Mitchell Wychecki, and Tiger lead at 22. 8:45 to play in our ball game. Glad you're with us tonight. Trey Killens leads all scorers with 12 points tonight. Wittenberg has 3 players now in double figures. Now we have a foul on Dushan Hill. For Dushan Hill, that is his 3rd. Daniel Asher going to go to the line for 1 and 1. Oh, no, it's going to be 2. I'm sorry. That is their 10th foul already.
A lot of fouls here in this second half.
Yes.
We still have 8.5 minutes left to play, and we've seen 17 combined fouls from both sides and both teams in the bonus as well.
Daniel Asher now the double bonus.
We talked about it a couple of minutes ago that both these teams down on the floor are getting a little bit more chippy. It's a lot more physical, and it's an emotional game, especially when you have an in-conference game where tensions are running more high. So obviously a lot more aggressive, a lot to play for, and you're going to see a lot of fouls like this, more fouls than what you'd see in an out-of-conference game.
Daniel Asher missed both free throws, so they can cut it. They can get it back within 20 if they score here. Nice pass, shot up and in. Manuel DeVore-Violan scores. And it is 64-44. 8:18 left to play in our ball game, and we're going to take a break with Wittenberg and Hiram. We'll take a break. 8:18 left to play. Wittenberg on top by 20.
I don't need giant stadiums. I don't need to be lectured. The world telling me how it's all falling apart before I've even gotten started. What I need is my own pen. I need mentors, advisors, and brilliant minds who put just as much into my success as I do. I need more than a university. I need a partner who believes that a higher education takes all of us.
.818 left to play here in the second. And one thing, Dave, that I'm really liking about the Wittenberg Tigers in this one, we talk about them playing a complete game, but obviously it's their ability in the second half to be able to pull away in certain situations. We talk about that 10-0 run. They were on a 10-5 run right now. You could start to see them pull this game in their direction. This is a team that can close out games, and that is what makes them so much more efficient. So much more of an efficient team in the NCAC.
Wittenberg turns it over to Sean Hill, intercepts the pass from Dean Tate. And just like that, Trent Jacacki scores, and all of a sudden the Wittenberg lead was at 24. It's down to 18, so a 6-0 run right now for Hiram. Of course, time's running out. There's only 7:42 left to play. Dean Tate, 3, no good. Eddie Brown knocks it, but right to Trent Jacacki. Drive in the lane, turn around. Dushan Hill, another 3 on the way. Dushan Hill rims in and out. Eddie Brown with the rebound. Dean Tate with a basketball. That 3 would have been big for Hiram and Dushan Hill. Daniel Asher.
And it's an open look, and it's ultimately a look that Dushan Hill has been able to hit more times than not tonight.
Jeff Queen sees the lane. He takes it, lays it off the glass, up and in. Tiger lead back at 20. 7:05 left to play. Mitchell Wychecki goes up for a shot, no good. Daniel Asher picks up the foul.
Looked like Asher was just hovering over just a tad there, Dave, and going to be calling for the foul, especially when you're hovering over the offensive player who's trying to drive. They're entitled to that lane as well. You're just trying to defend them. Tough call there going against Daniel Asher, but at the end of the day, the right call.
We take a look at the standings. You know, Wabash is 10-3, Worcester 9-3, Wittenberg right behind 8-4. You never know going down the stretch what could happen these last couple weeks. Maybe Wittenberg can move up.
Yeah, absolutely. There's still certainly a lot to play for, but Wittenberg, they've got to take matters into their own hands. They do play Worcester upcoming this Saturday, which could be a big game in the NCAC because that could tie them in the overall standings if they're able to hang on to that one and pull that one away at home. But Wittenberg, you look at their upcoming schedule, a lot of winnable games. There are some tough games still on that schedule. But Wittenberg, yes, they may need some help to knock off Wabash, but they are in the driver's seat for at least that number 2 spot right now with Worcester. So a lot to play for Wittenberg this late into the season. There's not much more you can ask for the Tigers. This is this position you want to be in, or one of the positions you want to be in later in the season.
7 minutes and 1 tick left to play in our ball game. Wittenberg on top 66-46. And Mitchell Wycheck is going to be at the foul line. Boy, for a 56% free throw shooter, he's done pretty well. 3 for 5. That's 60%, so not bad. There we go. Free throw on the way. That one missed. Hit the front of the rim, hit the glass, but then bounced off the rim again, front of the rim.
You might have jinxed them, Dave.
Yeah, I think got the old broadcaster's jinx.
It's true. It's a real thing.
Second free throw, missed them both. How about that?
The power we have up here
it's crazy.
is crazy. We can control the outcome of this game.
Absolutely. Eddie Brown with a rebound. Jeff Queen with the basketball, back to Eddie Brown. Bounce past Cameron Harrison. Bad pass, but Cameron able to corral it. Jeff Queen with it. Jeff Queen in the lane. Out to Eddie Brown. 5 on the shot clock. Jeff Queen's going to have to throw one up, and he does from three-point land. Goes out of bounds. I don't know, did that thing touch the rim, or was that short all the way?
I think it touched.
I thought it grazed it.
Yeah, just a little bit, but nonetheless, possession going back to Hiram.
Yep, Terriers with the basketball. Mitchell Wychecki. The Brooke McCrancy shot put up, no good. Ball knocked out of bounds. They say off of Wychecki. Knocked it out. Give the ball back to Wittenberg. 6:14 left to play.
I know I'm going to say some praise for the opposing team from Wittenberg right now, but Trent Jakacki, they're 2-19 on the season. They're down by 20, and you could still see Trent Jakacki hustling, trying to save that one and throw it out of bounds off Cameron Harrison. A lot of players on these teams, a lot of teams like this would certainly just give up, but not Trent Jakacki, and the leadership that he shows and exemplifies for the Terriers, you could see as it carries down the ranks as well for the Terriers, with Jakacki at the helm and at the leader for the Terriers. That's ultimately a great start heading into next season.
Deshaun Hill shot, no good. Rebound, Wittenberg. Trey Killens with the basketball. You know, it used to be, Hiram used to be a house of horrors for the Wittenberg men's team. And it's changed the last couple of years. But I remember going up there when Wittenberg had good teams that would come out with an L. And it was like that for like 4 or 5 years in a row. I mean, it was just crazy. Ball goes out of bounds after the shot, rebound, but Wittenberg going to retain possession. 5 1/4 left to play, 5 minutes, 25 seconds. Jeff Queen, inbounds. Eddie Brown, turn around. He is fouled by Ricky Esdell. So Eddie Avery's going to go, or Eddie Brown's going to go to the line for 2 free throws. He hit 62% on the year. Eddie Brown with 4 points. He's 4 for 4 from the foul line, though. He's been perfect. There we go. In fact, that was so bad he didn't even hit the backboard, didn't even hit the rim. Poor Eddie. I really gave him the jinx there.
It's a real thing.
Eddie Brown, second free throw, and that one's off. And that one wasn't very close either.
Be careful, Dave.
He did hit the rim.
Be careful leaving the arena tonight because
Yeah.
all the Wittenberg fans just heard you say that, and I think you've built enough credibility here, though.
Now we have a foul on Daniel Asher. Going to go to the line for 1-1, Manuel DeVore Violan. And he shoots 64% from the foul line. He averages 9.5 points a game. Wittenberg's held him to 4 in this one.
Wittenberg's defense, they've played very, very great today, and it's been a mix because Hiram's offense, they have not shot well. Obviously, I'll tell you the difference maker in this one, 4 of 22 from beyond the arc. I think if you're able to get just 3 more to go, think about the complexion of this game. It's a different game from Hiram. You think about if they didn't attempt too many threes and they were able to connect on the inside, it could be a different game for the Hiram Terriers. But don't let their poor shooting take away from the fact that Wittenberg, they forced 15 turnovers, and they've also gotten 20 points off of those 15 turnovers as well. So the Wittenberg Tigers certainly playing very, very well on the defensive side today.
Violan missed the shot, but he crossed the line before he saw it was going to be off, and he crossed the line. But now Wittenberg has been called for technical. And I don't know if it's because somebody stepped out on the floor before they were, but I think they've called a foul. And I think it may be that somebody stepped on the floor before they were supposed to. Because Daniel Asher is gone. He's on the bench. And I think that's what happened. I think Dawson Scott ran out, and they hadn't ushered him in yet, told him to come in. Because I think that's what happened. Because, as we said, Violan crossed the line, and, yeah, they got technical free throws. And, of course, it's going to be Jakacki.
Usually, though, when you see those situations happen, the officials will just wave them off back to the table. So I wonder if there was a warning that we might have missed earlier in the game because, they're just waving them back off to the table. But if it's too bad, they'll give the team a warning. So that might have been something that was warned earlier in the game for the Wittenberg Tigers.
Jakacki splits the pair. And I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I think Dawson Scott ran out on the floor, and Asher, he hadn't been told to come in, so I think that's what happened. I don't think anybody said anything. Well, they would if they'd have been called, for a personal foul. Now Steele the other way. Shot put up no good, but a tip in by Jakacki. 66-49. I tell you what, they are letting a lot of contact go in this game. Cameron Harrison the other way nails another 3. Cameron now with 11. He's 3 for 5 from beyond the arc.
And remember, he had 5 of the first 8 points of the game. He's been held scoreless, but now in just the last 3 minutes of game time, he's got 6 points. So Cameron Harrison's starting to heat back up.
Jakacki just missed 2 shots down close. Yeah, he hits 43% of his threes, and already he's at 60% tonight with 3 for 5. Now what do we have?
I think we have an official timeout, maybe?
Mitchell Icheki. I think maybe one of the players got hurt. Looks like Estel's limping a little bit. Hopefully he's okay. Maybe that's why they stopped it, because Wittenberg really wasn't going forward. They kind of pulled the ball back, so they went ahead and, I think, called it because he was hurting a little bit. Eddie Brown with the basketball to Cameron Harrison. To Trey Killens. Trey's going to drive. Go up for a wild shot. Didn't go in, but Dawson Scott with the rebound. He is fouled. He's going to go to the line.
I think Trey Killens there was trying to go for the ESPN Sports Center Top 10 highlight reel tomorrow. Beautiful move there by Trey Killens, a beautiful move, and I like that shot that he took as well. He just should have taken an extra step to be able to get that angle for the reverse layup. That's a move, and that's a play that we've seen Trey Killens capitalize and connect on so many different times this season. So I like the move, I like the idea by Killens, but once again, one of the more overlooked players for the Wittenberg Tigers, that's Dawson Scott. What does he do best? Put back second chance points. Got another one there.
He became the 3rd player tonight for Wittenberg with 12 points. Jeff Queen, Trey Killens, Dawson Scott all have 12, and Cameron Harrison with 11. Pretty good scoring. Long 3 put up and in. Golden bat soaring. So 71-52, Tiger lead back at 19. Trey Killens with a drive, backs it out. Top of the key. Trey Killens going to drive. Floater in the lane, no good. 3:28 left to play. Quickly, Jeff Queen intercepts the pass intended for Mitchell Wychecki. Cameron Harrison with the basketball. Over to Dawson Scott. Dawson is fouled again, so he's going to go to the line again. Mitchell Wychecki can't believe it. I got to admit, with a 19-point lead and less than 3.5 minutes of play, that didn't look like that bad a foul, but official called it. And I know Coach doesn't like it. Coach Taylor Roth does not like that call at all. But we got 3:13 left to play, and Wittenberg's got to get ready. They got to get ready for Worcester on Saturday night. That is going to be a huge game, Jackson.
Yeah, that's going to be a big game, and the common theme that we hear Wittenberg say, pack the Pam. And that certainly holds true to this game against Worcester. Wittenberg, show out, show your support. They're going to need a packed house here to try to disrupt Worcester. Worcester's such a tremendous team this year, but Wittenberg, another great team. And Wittenberg trying to battle late season to get back at the top of the NCAC behind Worcester, who they still play, and Wabash as well. Wabash, they've looked incredible this season. But Wittenberg, this is a team that can get in the NCAC tournament with a home game, and they can make some noise. This is also a team that can make some noise in any postseason tournament they go to as well. So Wittenberg, this is a team that's still fighting for a lot. We talk about this game being a tune-up game for the Wittenberg Tigers, and I don't mean that in a bad way for it being against Hiram, but Hiram, they're 2-19 on the season. They're 0-12. This should have been a tune-up game for the Wittenberg Tigers. I see that they attempted some new schemes. They attempted some new player rotations, and I think they've learned a lot more about themselves. But I will say this, how do they take this style of play to the next level on Saturday to take down a very tough Worcester team?
Dawson Scott going for point number 13. He'd be the leading scorer for Tigers if he hits this, and he does. By the way, you talk about packing the Pam. The sad thing is ex-Wittenberg professor and mayor of Springfield for many years, Warren Copeland, of course, passed away not long ago, and he's sorely missed. He and his wife always came to the Wittenberg games and sorely miss Warren Copeland. Quite a Wittenberg fan, he and his wife. 72-52. Second shot was missed by Dawson Scott. But he leads the team now with 13 points. And Devoren Violan shot in the lane, no good. Rebound Dawson Scott. They head to Eddie Brown, 2:45 to play. 20-point lead for Wittenberg. Wittenberg going to go to 15-7 on the year, 9-4 in conference play. Jeff Queen, nice move, goes up for a shot. It's blocked, but Dawson Scott right there for the rebound up and in. So he now has 15. We have an injury, Hiram player that tried to block that shot, got knocked down, and hopefully he's going to be all right. I think they're telling him he just got the wind knocked out of him. They're coming down to look at him. So 74-52, 2.5 minutes left to play. That's Manuel DeVore Violan that went down, and hopefully he's going to be all right. Gets a nice hand from the crowd here. And now 15 points for Dawson Scott. 74-52. They did count that basket, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Okay. They finally put it up here on the.
Just a little late.
Yes. 74-52. Max Johnson down the lineup for Hiram. Shot put up and in by Trent Jacaki. Jacaki now points number 17 and 18. So he will be the leading scorer. At least he is right now. Cameron Harrison, 3 on the way. Count it! Cameron Harrison. He's up to 14 points. 77-54. I think they're just putting all subs in. They called a timeout, not really to discuss anything. They just put all new players in the game for Wittenberg, and looks like all new players in the game for Hiram. So 1:59 left to play.
This is going to be a big win for the Wittenberg Tigers, a game that they ultimately dominated from the very beginning. We talk about their 20-4 run to open up this game. Since they've had that, they never look back. Although the final score is still TBD, but big win for the Wittenberg Tigers. And Dave, great teams beat teams how they are supposed to. And
yes.
Obviously, Hiram has struggled this season. This was a game Wittenberg should win, and it's not a game that they should have won by a couple of points. This is a game that they should have won big. Great teams win games how they are supposed to, and that's exactly what Wittenberg did here today. But I also will say, in retrospect, Hiram, you could definitely see the improvement that they've had throughout the length of this season. Obviously, not the greatest of seasons, 2-19, but the last time they played Wittenberg, they lost by 29. It was 80-51. You could see the improvement that we've seen from Hiram throughout the course of the season, and such a young team. I'm not going to count them out for the next couple of years. A young team, some great recruits that are going to be coming into Hiram as well. Hiram, they're going to be a team that can be competitive in the NCAC, hopefully within the next couple of years.
Tristan Martin Marshall scores on a free throw. Tristan Martin Marshall, DJ Niles, Max Johnson, Jacob Kowal. And let's see, I'm trying to find that, and Zachary Krosh. That's how it's pronounced, according to their pronunciation guide. For Wittenberg, Brody Lai, Carl Bavinall, Javen Landers, Tanner Cooley, and Artie Taylor. 77-55, or less than a minute to play. Wittenberg on top by 22. Got some green shoes working out there. Three-pointer on the way is partially blocked by Jacob Kowal. Here comes Wittenberg the other way. Long three put up and is short by number 3, Brody Lai. Rebound comes down to Tanner Cooley. Shot from the foul line, in and out for Artie Taylor. So the Wittenberg women win today, 83-55, and unless Hiram scores here, they're going to end up with 55.
Two big wins for both teams.
Yes.
Wittenberg had women's team. They were on a 2-game losing streak. A get-right game for them before they play Worcester, a team that they should be able to beat on Saturday. And Wittenberg, a tune-up game, one last tune-up before they play Worcester at home here, possibly the game of the year.
DJ Niles scored on a layup. That makes it 77-57, so they do get over the 55-point mark. 77-57, Wittenberg wins by 20. Let's take a look at team numbers first. It was Hiram 20 of 59, 34%. Wittenberg 27-56. One shot away from being 50%. They're at 48%. How about Wittenberg from three-point line? 8 of 17, 47%. Hiram 5 of 25, 20%. Hiram 12 of 19 from the foul line, 63%. Wittenberg 15 of 25, 60%. So no great shakes by either team from the foul line. Turnovers, Hiram 16, Wittenberg 11. Points off turnovers, Hiram 15, Wittenberg 21. Rebounding battle, Hiram wins 36-32. They doubled up Wittenberg on the offensive glass, 12-6. Assists, Wittenberg 12-9. Blocks, Wittenberg 2-1. Steals, Wittenberg 9-7. Bench points, Wittenberg 33-23. Second chance points, Wittenberg 11. Hiram 7. Points in the paint, got a lot closer, 34-28. Wittenberg wins that one. And fast break points, Hiram did win that, 11-9. Final unofficial scoring in the ball game. First for Hiram, Tristan Martin Marshall, 1 point. 2 each for Ivan Yang and DJ Niles. 3 for Mitchell Wychecki. 4 for Ricky Esdell. And 4 for James Moore. Manuel DeVore Violan finished with 4. 9 for Deshaun Hill. Golden Bat Soaring finished with 12. And Trent Jakacki, who averages 22.5, finished with 16. For Wittenberg, Daniel Asher with 2. Eddie Brown with 4. 5 for Keith Rivers. 6 for Tyler Galuch. 7 for Dean Tate. And then 4 players in double figures for the Tigers. Troy Killens, Jeff Queen with 12 each. 14 points for Cameron Harrison. And 15 tonight for Dawson Scott. By the way, Trent Jakacki just 1 rebound short of a double-double. He finished with 9 rebounds. Leading rebounders for Wittenberg, Dawson Scott, and Eddie Brown with 6 each. Your final thoughts on the game tonight, Jackson?
Wittenberg, they played a complete game, and ultimately, again, a tune-up game for Wittenberg. Big game for them coming up on Saturday. Here's the difference in this one. Wittenberg 8 for 17 up from beyond the arc. They hit more, and they were more selective with their threes, where it seemed as if Hiram at times were just jacking up threes to try to get themselves back into this one. 20% from beyond the arc from Hiram. You bring that up to just 30%, it's a different final couple of minutes in this game, and it's a closer ball game. But nonetheless, great win from Wittenberg, great defense, great offense, and a good team win and a good feel-good win for the Tigers moving forward with some momentum to Saturday.
Okay, Tigers win 77-57. I want to thank Jackson Lightcap for all his help with the color in the second game. I'm Dave Williams. Hope you've enjoyed our Wittenberg sports broadcast powered by TKDF Sports. And we'll be back again Saturday. 2 o'clock game, the Wittenberg women will take on Worcester. Jackson, I'll be here for that game. And then Saturday night, 7 o'clock tip against the men. I'll have the call with Coach Jim Scobie. So for Jackson Lightcap, this is Dave Williams saying thanks so much for listening. Our final scores tonight in the doubleheader, Wittenberg wins both games. The women win 83-55, and the men win 77-57. Good night, everybody.